Okay.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. My name is Sampa Salome Mwansa Chilamboy, and I'm so excited to have you here today. The topic today is something that we all grapple with. It's real life, it's practical, and honestly, it's going to change you in the best way possible by the time we're done with the 30 minutes that we do the Wednesday class for, the Wednesday session for. Yes. So today's topic is discipline. When you register your business, you need to show up and be consistent. There's a reason why it's called returns, because you have to return. You have to be consistent. You have to return every month. You have to do it. Every month you have to do it. As long as you've made the decision to open up a business, you will have to return to the site of that business operations. You have to make sure that you are doing your returns. You have to make sure that your business is compliant. The same way that if when you open a bank account, you have monthly charges, is the same way that you're going to have to be doing your returns as a business owner. So today's topic is we're going to talk about discipline. When you register your business, you need to show up and be consistent. Whether you're a mompreneur, a startup founder, or an established business owner, this conversation is for you. So let me ask, have you ever felt like giving up after registering your business? I know I have. Have you ever looked at compliance and thought, ish, I don't understand this. Maybe I'll sort it out later, or I'll ask someone once I'm ready who can help me out? Then this session is your safe space. Let's grow together. I'm going to tell you about the need for compliance. The need for compliance, it makes sure that your business is operating compliantly. Compliantly means you are adhering to the law. You are doing your ZRA, your NAPSA, your workers' compensation if you've registered for it, your NEMA, just so that you are operating like a business. You know, you made the decision to say you had a dream and said, oh, okay, I want to open up I want to be selling Salaula, for instance. There's many people that say, oh, no, but I just sell Salaula. No, you're operating in a business and it means you're not being legal. You are operating illegally. So you can register your small business, even if it's small, you register it and you say, okay, I want to register it as a business name, Sampad Salaula Kona, for instance. Then once you do that, a notification is sent to ZRA. So now you go to ZRA and you say, okay, I've opened up a business and I would like to register for turnover tax. You can register for turnover tax or you can register for base tax. There are different tax types. And this is something that you can then say, okay, if you are starting big, let's say your business has been generating and your account is showing that you are making sufficient money, then you can register from the get-go. You can register for voluntary VAT if you meet the requirements. So all this is just to ensure that you are operating compliantly. You're paying your taxes, you're doing your annual returns at PACRA. All these things are very important. And then sometimes it's not a lack of knowledge, it's fear. You don't know who to ask, you don't know who to turn to. For us, we work very closely with these statutory bodies, your PACRA, your ZRA, and we're able to assist in that regard to say, okay, this business wants to maybe upgrade. They've been operating as a business name for some time and they want to upgrade into being a limited business. So we contact we go to PACRA and then we say, okay, this business wants to upgrade. So then we are able to assist with that. You upgrade your business, you pay the fees for that, and then you get to do that. Yeah. So this is what we do. DigiBusiness caters not only for mompreneurs, but startup founders, established business owners, and this conversation is for you. So you're happy, you're excited. Okay, I've opened the business. Then what? What happens after registration? You finally registered with PACRA and all your local authorities. I've got a name. I've registered with NAPSA, I've registered ZRA, I've got my TPIN. Okay, now what? You have to make sure that you are compliant. 1 month passes, 2 months pass, suddenly the fire starts to die down. Why? That initial excitement has fizzled out, and now because of a lack of discipline, you are not motivated anymore. Please know from today that motion is created by excitement, but discipline is what sustains momentum. Slowly, this lack of discipline creates procrastination, and this procrastination then creates inconsistency, which results into penalties. We work very closely with the regulated partners, as I mentioned. These are your ZRA, and ZRA has now introduced a program. It's a course called Atingi. I've gone through the content, the course content. It's extremely bulky, but at the end of it, then you become a certified tax consultant. They've done this just to make sure that everybody that's talking about taxes knows what they're talking about and is able to provide the correct advice. So I'm personally going through the Atingi program, and this is going to now, coupled with already the interest and my economics background and the slight accounting that I did, is going to be coupled with that, and then will also then update me with the move for instance, for turnover tax, the move from 4% to 5%, from 800,000 to 5 million, how to correctly do your VAT inputs and outputs. All this is going to be covered in the Atingi program. So I've successfully enrolled, and if you want to enroll, you can just say, I want to enroll as a message, then we can do it together. You know, it's a free program by ZRA. So we can do it together, we can bounce off ideas and the like. So a lot of mompreneurs begin to trade outside the system, not intentionally, but because they're inconsistent and now they don't know how to backdate. Let's say maybe you missed a month, you don't know, okay, you can then go back and submit your return for that particular month and then continue being compliant for the next month. Inconsistency is highly detrimental. Not only does it create false fear, or you're afraid of being audited, now you're afraid you're paying penalties, now you are not understanding the need to comply. The need to comply, it creates, I'll give you a practical example. Yeah, at school, right? You've done your monthly tests or your weekly tests and you get 90%, right? You go to your parents and be like, oh, I got 90%, because now you're happy that you've got 90%, but you do a test and you get 10%. You're less likely to share this with your parents because now you're afraid. So it's the same concept when you're doing your returns. Because you've missed a month where you didn't do your penalties, now it becomes a situation where it's like, okay, now who can I tell that I didn't do my penalties? I didn't do my return, and now I've got penalties on my account. You can come to us. We can assist to help you rectify those penalties or to waive off your penalties, to assist you to waive off your penalties. And in the event that you need to pay those penalties, those penalties have been acquired, then you pay, and then you continue being compliant. What these statutory bodies are trying to do is to make sure that when you make the decision to open your business, you are consistent, you are disciplined, and you're doing what you need to do to make sure that your business is operating correctly with other businesses. So I'll tell you from the She Builds event, we had a lot of positive conversations. We had a lot of advocacy towards making sure that you're compliant. This for me made me so happy because it's like, okay, no, I'm being seen. My value is being felt. So what this did is there was someone who I was speaking to. I helped them register with PACRA. After we registered with PACRA, then we went to ZRA and we registered with ZRA. So she asks, okay, so now that I've registered with PACRA and ZRA, Do I need to start immediately? And does it mean that I need to pay every month? And we laughed about it and we said, okay, look, you don't have to pay every month. So in a month when you haven't made, a sale, you can then do a new return because you're telling the truth. You haven't made any sales. So it's a percent, especially when you're just starting. I'd recommend turnover tax because then you pay 5% of what it is that you've generated. So let's say in a month you haven't made a sale, you can do a new return. I can walk you through the process of how to do a new return. You log in your details, and then there's a scroll down menu on your left, and then you click returns, and then you go in there and you say, okay, I'd like to file a return. You put in the dates, you put in the amount that you're paying, or if it's a new return, then you click on yes, I'd like to fill a new return. You submit, immediately you will get a notification, an acknowledgement receipt. So you're able to do that on your own as well. You can do this on your own, and when you meet a hiccup and maybe are too scared to go to the statutory bodies, then you come to me and we go together to those statutory bodies and we fix what it is that you need to fix. Don't be afraid. When you're afraid, you create a snowball, and then now these statutory bodies then start being on your case and saying, oh, okay, you haven't been filing your returns and now your penalties have stacked up. There's another client who I was helping with their PACRA documentation, and they had penalties for 3 years. They hadn't been filing their annual returns. And I said, okay, you can't upgrade your company into a limited business if you've got penalties. So you need to pay these penalties, and these are paid directly to PACRA, and you receive a notification receipt. So with all the transactions, you receive a receipt, and this also helps with transparency to make sure that what you're doing is correct and you get the receipts directly from those bodies. Let me tell you about what happens when you're not compliant. What happens when you're not compliant is businesses don't want to do business with you because now it's like they're making, they're trading with someone who is not compliant. And businesses, especially now these days with smart invoicing, I'll get into that in our next session. Smart invoicing in itself needs an in-depth understanding. And I'll see if I can invite someone from ZRA to participate in the conversation that we'll have in our next session, so that they can discuss more about smart invoicing. This is very important, very, very important. As a business owner, ignorance is not a defense. The day you open your business, you need to be ready to comply, because when you don't comply, ignorance is not a defense. They will penalize you. And you'll find that the penalties have accumulated other penalties, and you won't know where to start from. So for me, I'm going to implore that people should not be afraid to make sure that you're compliant. And this discipline that I'm talking about, showing up and making sure that you're doing returns, is what running a business is about. Running a business is not just about sales. Oh, okay, I've made this sale, my business is growing, but are you compliant? Are you compliant? Are you making sure that you're doing your returns? Are you employing people? Have you registered your employees to NEMA? These are conversations that real entrepreneurs have, right? So this is something that you need to differentiate yourself from someone who takes it as a hobby and is not registered, and someone who is registered. Being registered, it puts you on a different level ground. You can access loans from banks, you can access loans from CAC. There's so much that you can do when you are registered and compliant. Now I'm going to talk about the cost of inconsistency. Let's be honest, there is a cost when you're not disciplined. Just the same way when you're growing up and you make a mistake, you're going to be reprimanded. It's the same thing when you decide to open a business. You need to be disciplined. You need to make sure that you are not missing out on contracts. You are not losing credibility. You are not disqualifying yourself from grants, loans, supplier deals. Now you can't send amounts using your bank account if you do not have a tax clearance certificate. Tax clearance certificate is very important. It's very, very important. Even in your personal capacity, if you are operating a business name and you don't have a TPIN, you are highly likely to not be able to open your account. You need a TPIN to open your account, especially now. You need to have all these things in place to make sure that you are operating correctly. Compliance is not just about government regulations. It's about creating peace of mind. It's about positioning your business for growth. Your consistency today is your credibility tomorrow. So let's say, for instance, maybe something happens and you're not able to file your return for a particular month, and you accumulate a penalty. What happens is that this then affects your ability to operate correctly. And then now you start saying, okay, no, you start playing the blame game. You find a scapegoat. Oh, I didn't do my returns because, oh, I didn't do this because. Now you're living in because you didn't make sure that you are compliant. Being compliant is not something that is, oh, okay, it's a waste of time, or you need to find the funds for it. You would rather take money from, instead of maybe purchasing more supplies to operate your business, allocate. And you know, these amounts, they're not so large as compared. It's not like you're putting in hundreds of thousands of dollars, unless you're VAT registered, of course. Then, I mean, your business is large. It's in proportion with the size of your business. So let's say in a month, you do 10,000 kwacha worth of sales. You are going to have to pay 5% of that 10,000 kwacha, especially if you are registered for turnover tax. All this information is available on our website, www.dgbusinesszambia.com, and is also available on the statutory body websites. You know, they've made it seamless. They've made it easier for business people to be able to operate correctly. They've made it so seamless. You go there, you can actually even do it yourself. For me, I got the interest because I registered a business and I was doing it myself. And a lot of people were asking, oh, okay, I've got this, I've opened my business, and my first question would be, are you compliant? And they'd look at me like with a puzzled look on their face. What does that mean? You're operating a business and you don't know what it means to be compliant. It means you're not compliant, because ideally you should know what being compliant is. And we are here to listen and not judge. So if you are running a business and you're not compliant and you don't even know what compliant is, give us a call. We'll be able to assist you. We can connect you to the correct advisory bodies that can assist, and we can also provide you with advice within the confines of the law. So I'm going to give you practical steps of staying disciplined and staying compliant. Set monthly reminders. Schedule a day each month for compliance checks. Have a buddy, have an accountability partner. They say, okay, today is the 4th of June. In a few days, we're going to have to be doing our NAPSA, our NEMA, our ZRA. And it's on the 10th of each month, every month, 10th. You can even set an alarm. If you don't have an accountability partner, you can set an alarm on your phone so that by the 10th of each month, you have done all your returns. You've done your ZRA, your NAPSA, your this, your that. You've done all of them. This is very important. So that's step one. Set monthly reminders. Either find a buddy or a fellow business partner who you can then be reminding each other. Or if you don't have, you can schedule a day. You can schedule a notification on your phone, an alarm on your phone. And then number two, get help. Don't do it alone. Work with experts like us at DigiBusiness Zambia. We have licensed associates who we work with that ensure that your business is operating correctly. Educate yourself. know what is required. NAPSA, ZRA, PACRA, NEMA. Like I said, when you visit their websites, all the information is there. It can be information overload. So you would have someone who's an independent business development consultant, such as myself, that can assist to make this bulky information into bite size, make it normal, make it something which is more relatable. And then also you need to track your sales. If you don't sell, you declare nil. But if you did, you'll have to pay and comply. And they've made it easier. Like I mentioned, smart invoicing is something that we'll talk about in our next session, so that you understand what it is. It's not there to expose your sales. I know this is a conversation that I've had with many people, like, no, I don't want to register for smart invoicing because it's like it's exposing my business. But why hide? Why hide? You know, why evade that very, very scary word? Why evade taxes? Tax evasion is a crime. So you track your sales. You can have all these ZRA approved systems that you can use, and then celebrate your small wins. Consistency is not perfection. It's about showing up. Let's say you've registered your business and you're compliant and you've been compliant. Give yourself a pat on the back. Many people don't manage. So just the fact that you are doing that, or the fact that you've thought about doing that, is good enough. It's so good to be consistent. You do your returns for all the statutory bodies, and your business, as you're operating it, you will not be afraid. So our call to action is, if this resonates with you, I want you to inbox me today on all our social media platforms, DigiBusiness Zambia. You can also visit our website and send us a message. You can also send us a WhatsApp on +2607764063347. I'll say that again, +2607764063347. So I am not here to judge, I am here to help, and you need to look good and feel good and grow as a business. The discipline to show up even on tough days will position you for long-term success. You don't have to do it all at once, just don't give up. Start slowly, it will snowball. Discipline every day is something which you can attain. Discipline is small steps. The small steps, every day you wake up, oh, okay, I know that on the 10th, I need to be compliant. You can even do it before. You don't have to wait for the 10th. You can do it by the 5th. Tomorrow is the 5th. Make sure you're compliant. Make sure you've done your returns. If you need help, inbox me. You registered your business for a reason. So you need to show up for that business. It's like having a baby. You had your baby, you need to make sure that baby is fed, clothed, bathed, is healthy. It's the same thing with your business. You've registered a business, make sure your business is healthy. So join the DigiBusiness movement. Let's make your business shine. And thank you so much today for joining the midweek Wednesday refuel. And see you next time when we're talking about smart invoicing. And I will try, okay, not try. We don't use the word try here. Our MCP person, Dr. Sunshine, will tell me, don't use the word try. We will implore a ZRA consultant, an actual ZRA consultant, to be part of the call next week to speak about smart invoicing and how you can make sure that you are taking the necessary steps to be compliant. So stay inspired, stay consistent. You are doing it. Just the fact that you've thought of doing a business, this is for you. Oh, and I should mention that DigiBusiness has received so much support and so much well wishes that in September we will be launching officially as a business development consultant firm to provide you with business support services. In September, it will be at Sandy's Creation, and our guest of honor will be none other than the Mayor of Lusaka, the Mayor Chilando Chitangala, and would like to thank her for being able to support us in this way. So we'll have representatives from all the statutory bodies present. So please come with your notepads. There'll be a passbook. You will have to go through each and every experiential zone so that you can experience everything that your business needs to do. You had a dream, you monetize that dream. Now let's make that dream reality. So thank you so much. We'll be seeing you in our next session. And this is something which everybody that decides to open a business, you have no excuse but to be compliant. Thank you so much.